What's it like living with vitiligo? It's different. It's different. It freaks. The first time I found out about it was probably like 2000. About 2018. About 2018, and I think I was playing. I was trying to clean my face. I was shaving, and here's how I noticed it. I had a bottle of peroxide. Let me show how what my dumb ass does. I take the bottle of peroxide, and I take like a cotton ball, just trying to clear up some nicks or whatever in my face, and then I put it to my like certain spots where where it was like hurting or some shit. So I used that, and then all of a sudden later on, like some weeks go by, I start seeing it look like my lips is like so just like right here in the crackle of my mouth, I started to see like a lighter shade, and I was, again, very fear of criticism and all of that shit, just sitting in my brain. It's like those negative voices from childhood, just sitting in there, like being like poking fun at you, laughing at you, worrying about what people think and all that stuff like that defines you. And boy. It got to me at first. I started to get really, really, really like depressed about it. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna look like a fucking cow tail, the candy or whatever, like the cream in the middle with the caramel with cream. You gotta put that spit on the thing, cream. And I was just worried about looking like a cow or looking like a fucking just a zebra, anything. Whatever jokes, but I just was like, I don't know how I'm going to deal with this. But after a while, of course I kept the beard, kind of subconscious about that shit. And maybe one day I'll cut it, but I actually like the beard that I have. It took me 80 years to grow this motherfucker, and I'm still trying to grow this motherfucker. But there's certain things like, all right, yeah, you see that right, yeah, right, yeah. See that? It's white. And then you look here, it's kind of white. Right up in here, it's kind of white. And I don't know. It's just part of my identity now, and I've learned to accept it, and that's just who I am. I'm just gonna let it be. I don't lie. I still go get Just for Men. I go to Walmart probably every 3 to 4 weeks. Not 3 to 4 weeks. Probably like once every month. And give me a nice little dye, and I touch the little thing right here. You see that right here? So I touch that here. But I don't touch this though. I let this salt and peppy stay. But as far as like this, I touch that up, because I don't like that. I just don't like how it looks. I don't know if I'm subconscious. I don't know if it's just the subconscious part anymore. I just don't like how it looks. So I dye it. But having vitiligo, it changes you. It does. You get, like I said, you get self-conscious, then you start to worry, like, where else is it gonna go and all this shit. So right now, I see it on my, my lips. It's definitely in my lips, like right here, right in here, like I said, there, and then right up top. But it's good to know that you're not alone. And some people have it worse than I do, or they have it better than I do. Depends on your perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're worried about that, it makes you different. It makes you stand out. I'm a fucking mutant. I've always felt like I never really belong, so that works. You might as well just be yourself, because the more you try to fit in, the more invisible you become. But when you just be yourself, you belong anywhere and nowhere at the same time. Maya Angelou. Shit, growing older, let me tell you, time fucking flies, yo. Before you know it, you're 35 years old, and you're still living with a lot of trauma from your fucking childhood. It's like you were 6 yesterday, or 7, whatever the time frame when you felt like something traumatic happened to your life. And man, you look up, for me, daughter's graduating. I've been so worried about like trying to work on the next big thing that I never lived in the moment, and it plagues at you and it hurts. It does. It can be depressing, but you're responsible for your own actions. But you have to forgive yourself for what you didn't know. That's the other part. You got to forgive yourself for what you didn't know, and you just try to do better going forward. And growing older, like, used to be able to play ball like all the time, and then 26 hits, go up for a fucking rebound, come down, tear your ACL. Worst pain I ever fucking felt in my life. 26 years old, and I just didn't know how to. I didn't know how to deal with it. It's a very traumatic situation, so I was like gonna not used to putting pressure on that knee, but those things happen. Your bones, like you said, your bones don't feel the same. You're not able to listen to the music in the club as much as you used to, sitting in there, and time flies. I remember when I turned 30. Yeah, me and my girlfriend at the time, I think we went to Universal, probably. Yeah, I think me and Bree went to Universal, and it was a good, it was a good time. Appreciate that happening. I wonder, did they have folks come? No, they did not. That's right. That was just us that time. I couldn't remember. But you just look up and like, damn, you're 35. One minute your kid is like 6 years old and all she wants to do is go to fucking Chuck E. Cheese. Next, she's like 14 years old. She wants to get her nails did. And then she's asking for like you to buy hair. She's doing, she's working like multiple jobs and shit. It's just like damn, where does the time go? And all you doing was just work. All you do is work. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure other parents understand that. I mean, for those that are like away from their kids or have a job that's so demanding that, damn, you don't realize how fast time flies. But it teaches you to appreciate the little things, and little things are everything. Like the little moments of just being with your family and your friends, instead of like chasing things. Happiness is not a destination. It's every day choosing to be happy and finding little things to be grateful for. So since that point, I've been very grateful for the friends and the family members that engage with, and just like kind of just very grateful for their conversation. Conversation is that's like everything to me. That's the biggest turn on. That's what I appreciate the most. That's where I get all the knowledge and on things of what not to do and what to do from, and perspective. I love getting like perspective. I don't see shit as right and wrong anymore. I see perspective. Like it's just your perspective versus my perspective. Well, I don't necessarily have to agree with your shit. That doesn't define me. But this is my world. I direct my world. That's it. I affect me. I can only control me and how I respond to shit. But growing older, it makes you look at things. Like you look back at like high school and how fast that shit went by. 4 fucking years. And then you see people, you think about the people that you lost over the few years and stuff like that. I'm like, damn, man. And then you think about the decisions that you've made that weren't necessarily the best, but mistakes were to be made so that you can learn from them, not to dwell on them. And it took me a while to realize that shit, because I won't lie to y'all. I contemplated taking my own life a few times in my life. And I just didn't feel like I was good enough. I didn't feel, like I said, I spoke about it before. I didn't feel lovable at all. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like I had to be perfect in order to get really just my parents' validation is really what I wanted. But it's just everything runs differently. You know what I'm saying? You try so hard, and you put everything on a fucking pedestal when you make your parents to be your gods, and anything that that's at the slightest displeasure, you're living for them instead of living for yourself. And that's what I had to realize. I wasn't living for me at all. I mean, I've done selfish things and shit that kind of like that I'd say probably benefited me, but it was all for what I thought my parents wanted me to do. And then you just look back and like, damn, all that time has gone by. Your parents are 60 years old. Your daughter's about to be grown, and yeah, what do you have like to show for it? You know what I'm saying? Like, with a lot of things, and you learn from these things, and you see life differently. But I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for everything. You know, everything I've gone through, the people that have mistreated me, the people that have treated me nicely, and I didn't appreciate it. The lessons that were there, all the women that tried to love me, and then I pushed them away because it wasn't familiar to me. I wasn't used to being loved. So anything that kind of resembled love or whatever. I mean, there's attraction too. I mean, you can still. I mean, if you're not attracted to somebody that's trying to love you, you just don't. You just ain't attracted to the ass. But like, there were some women I was engaging with that tried to love me, but it wasn't familiar to me, and I just pushed it away. And there's women that I tried to love that pushed away the love I was trying to give them for the same reason. So this is funny, the emotionally unavailable and familiar versus what's best for you. So growing older, it's a blessing. There's so many lessons that can be taught to other people. Hopefully they learn from my mistakes and they're like going forward and trying to do better. But yeah, I look forward to whatever time I have left here on this earth, and hopefully that I can share my gifts and my stories and my mistakes, my life lessons with the world. All right, how has death affected my life? All right, so I remember being younger. I remember having a conversation with my grandma, and I asked about, what happens to people when you die. Well, of course, we grew up in a Baptist, like a Christian family, so it was like, she said that, you go to heaven, but, when you go to heaven, you don't have like a body, you're just a spirit or whatever. So it's like, am I going to see, as a little kid, I'm thinking, am I going to see like my mom, my dad, and stuff like that, when you get there? And I don't know. I really don't know. Honestly, as far as like the afterlife goes, I know that energy cannot be destroyed; it can only be transferred. So I know I'm going somewhere. I know the spirit that's upholding all this flesh is going somewhere where I do not know. Like I say, I believe, like, for where I am right now in my life, I believe in God and in the universe. You know what I'm saying? That's where my alliance lies. I recognize God and I recognize the universe. And death is scary. Death is scary because you don't know what's on the other side. But how things are explained to you will determine how you set your life. Like when you're scared of death, you're living afraid to live, and you're afraid to die, so you're afraid to live, and that's not how you want to live, man. Like, again, my little brother would always say how like religion kind of scarred us up, kind of brainwashed, and I understand it in a sense. It took a while for me to understand it, but sometimes you gotta wait until you're ready to hear the message. But it's like looking at your life and understanding what can be done and what should be done. It's got to be for you and how you want to live. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to live your life in fear. That's no way to live. You're not living. You're just every day trying to avoid dying, and it's not a good feeling. And I've done it for a very, very long time, living in fucking fear. Fear of pissing off my parents, fear of being abandoned, fear of looking like a fool, fear of so many other things, and it's just no way to live. You gotta do what you want to do. You get one of these lives, people get gone in an instant, so you might as well do what the fuck you want to do. But death, losing, I remember my aunt. She had a friend named Pierre, lived in a neighborhood in Salisbury. I remember going to his funeral. I was a little kid. I was like, I didn't really know him that again, I was just young from what I remember. And I remember going to the funeral and trying to figure out like what death was. I think that was like my first memory of like a funeral. Then my Uncle Big John, he died. That's my grandma's older brother. And he died in 94, I think. Yeah, 94. And of course we there, we cried. I just remember Uncle Big John was no longer with us. I didn't really understand like the concept of death, I wasn't scared by any means. But then our world got rocked when my grandfather passed. My mom's stepdad, he passed in 95. And I knew him. Like I sat with him. He would keep me home from like going to church, watching USA wrestling. They used to come on, and I mean, All American Wrestling used to come on USA on Sundays at like 11. And WWF, you get to watch that all the time. I was able to do that. He had me go get his Pepsis, glass bottled Pepsis out of the freezer, or like them ginger ales that used to burn your fucking nose. I forget what they're called, but them shits used to fuck your nose up. And losing him, I watched him die. I watched my grandfather die. He's something you just don't forget. 9 years old, seeing somebody just pass away in front of you, it's just scarring. And then there's my dad's baby brother that passed. My Uncle Nook, he passed. He was young, he had issues going on with his kidneys and stuff like that. Always had something going on. But to lose him, I saw him, and my aunt was hysterical at the funeral. So that's the scarring and triggering thing. And then I saw again, I didn't go to the funeral, but I saw that my mom's biological father passed away too. And I don't know, death is just different. Then to lose somebody that's very close to you, that you went to, like, you saw one day in school, and then they die. A friend of ours, all of us, we went to school, Velma. Literally the day before Velma passed, we're sitting in Miss Ficklin's class at Nansman. It was Miss Ficklin's first year of teaching. We was a fucking horrible class. But we're in the back, the lab tables and shit, and we're just like, we're gonna cheat on this 6 weeks test because we know what the fuck we're doing in chemistry. Nobody paid attention. We was just bad as fuck. And then like I go to work. I say I go to school in the morning. Mom was like, "Did you know a Velma Bell?" I'm like, yeah, her house caught on fire. And I didn't think nothing of it. So I go to school, and I go in the gym, and then a friend of ours, Ashira, she comes in, she's hysterically crying. And I was like, I know we didn't lose her. So, death is just, death can be scary. It can be scary, but it could be, it's an adventure. As Captain Hook says in the movie Hook, only adventure left is death. And because you don't know what's on the other side. But, death has had its impact on me. And then, like, most recently losing my Uncle Kevin, my grandmother's youngest son, it shifted the family. I don't think I've gotten over it. I've lived with the trauma of all that shit. Of seeing him, being able to go in that back room at my grandma's house and not see him there. It's just, I don't know. Like I said, I think the family's still processing it. So, how's death affected me? It makes me look at my own mortality. It humbles me, and it teaches me to appreciate those around me and my time spent with them. And hopefully, anybody watching this can learn to value the time spent with the people that they loved.